Bless up guys, Yannick Reed here and welcome back to the YouTube channel. As I mentioned before, my name is Yannick Reed and on this channel I would like to talk about tech, creativity and lifestyle, focusing on photography and videography. So if that sounds interesting to you, just hit the subscribe button for more videos just like this one. Today I want to talk about how I handle burnout. First of all, what is burnout? Let's look up what burnout is. I know what it is, but I just like to, just make sure my definitions are correct. Alright, so I have a definition here. Burnout is a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by excessive and prolonged stress. It occurs when you feel overwhelmed, emotionally drained, and unable to meet constant demands. So we're talking about burnout in the creative sense. So essentially, burnout, it usually happens after you just do a lot of creative work, and obviously you just reach a point where you're trying to come up with creative ideas, you're trying to execute stuff, and your brain is just like a car with just not start. I feel like most creative professionals watching this video have experienced some form of burnout where nothing now come to you and you just can't just get out of this funk, you just feel away. So I'm gonna share with you how I see burnout and how I deal with burnout. So first of all, burnout is not a bad thing. It's uncomfortable to experience, but it's not a bad thing. It is your body telling you to rest. With your best intentions and even with any good advice, we're gonna experience burnout at some point. There are just gonna be some situations where burnout will pop up and it's unavoidable sometimes, and it's best to just know how to handle it and how to navigate through it than to try and say I'll never be burnt out again. But avoiding it as best as possible is also good. An analogy that helps me to understand burnout and combat it the best way is, think about when you're working out. You're working out any one of your muscle groups. Think of your mind and your creativity as like a muscle. Take each day to work out different muscle groups. You can't just have a week where you're just like, I just want to bulk up my arms, so I'm gonna do arm day every single day of the week. You have to exercise a muscle and then rest it to give it time to recover. And I think that also applies to your mind and your creativity. We are extracting so much mental energy, and if you're in the creative field, you are churning out so much ideas, especially if it's your profession. Like for your profession, you're working this creative muscle on a very regular basis, like milking a cow. And just like if you are to do a number of push-ups to failure till you can't do anymore, that can happen to your mind or your creativity. And just like how if that was to happen in a workout, the best thing to do is stop, take a break, do something else. There are situations, first thing you might say is, Yannick, I'm not in a situation where I can stop. And if you are in a situation where you are working your creative muscles very regularly with no real end in sight too close, you have to then develop a system where you are not over exerting your creative abilities. The first thing you want to do is just stop. That's what I do, like if I find myself just things that I do when I'm burnt out, I give my creativity a rest. I work out some other muscles, I may go and actually like physically work out, work the body, take some stress off of the mind. I relax, I play video games, I watch TV. I just take myself away as much as possible, as much as I can from doing things creative, just so I can give the mind a rest and stimulate myself with other things. Just like any workout, you can't force your muscle to recover, you can't force yourself through an injury, you just have to rest. Same applies for your mind, and I find that just taking the break sometimes, as frustrating as it may be, helps a lot in just allowing your creativity to heal. A lot of times when them say, like when you're forcing an issue or like you're poking something that's sore, it just hurt more. But when you just take time away from it, it can build back. Go out and live some life, meaning like go explore, watch movies. Me personally, I just visually and I just stimulate all of my other senses. I just take in as much sensory stuff as possible, and I find that just over the time, you know, my body will tell me when it's ready to come out of burnout, because then I will start to feel the creative itch again, you know, that little feeling that say, you know, you see something and you say, blow, that'd be a sick idea. And when I find that, that is kind of when I find my creative juices are starting to flow again. You know, sometimes what happens is that burnout happens at inconvenient times. And what do I do when burnout happens at an inconvenient time? I'll be honest about it. I tell the people around me that, yo, I'm really going through like a slump. I'm going through some burnout right now and nothing is really coming to me. That's the first thing. I totally understand people are gonna say like, yo, not everybody's gonna react positively to it, but that's fine. First, just let people know that you're experiencing this. The second thing, and this is something that you kind of have to plan before burnout, this is kind of like anticipating burnout. You want to be able to have a level of creativity that is easily automated. And what I mean by that is basically kind of like just some basic level, like enough creativity that's not really generating as much new ideas, but gets the job done. Probably maybe to 70%. And this may sound like being unoriginal in some sense, or, you know, being lazy. Yeah, it might be like that. Like you might just kind of have to say, like, even for Vlogtober, I'm doing one video every single day. I don't have a brilliant idea every day, but I understand what may be like the bare minimum I can do to get the job done to complete the task. Because right now, especially during burnout, my objective isn't to excel. My objective is to recover, you know, just get through as quick as possible, to endure through a period till I can find a true rest period where I can stop my output completely and just focus on recovery. So that's what I would also recommend to you. You don't know what a bare minimum looks like. Find a bare minimum that gets the job at least to 70%, because perfectionism is certainly not the goal. If you're burnt out, pressing the issue while you're burnt out is a guarantee of how to just make it worse. I just kind of want to wrap that up quickly and just be like, yo, don't be afraid to take a break. Creative, sometimes we don't really know how to schedule time for rest. You know, sometimes we may happen upon rest, like, oh, I have nothing to do, so maybe we can chill. No, that's not true rest. True rest is, you know, if you look at your schedule, your week, your month, your year, and you say, okay, I'm gonna block these 2 days out where I don't do anything creative. I'm just chilling for this day. I'm not taking any emails or any calls. I am chilling. You have to schedule deliberate periods for rest, and creating a routine where you do this regularly will keep you further away from burnout. If you're just doing it regularly, like you can start to detect like right before burnout starts to pop up, and you know you have a neat break scheduled right up, and you take it and you can just bring yourself right back to a cool down period and continue to be effective. When burnt out, rest. For burnout, please schedule proper rest from creativity, from your profession, from whatever you do, things that you can relax and let your creative mind just take a rest, take a back seat, and just receive and recline. So that's it for today's video. Just continue to take care of yourself and just continue to bless up yourself.